Welcome back to the Football Terrace. 1-0 to Spain in their game against the Italians. And it was another enthralling encounter. The Spanish, the more dominant, we expected them to have the majority of the ball. And it was an interesting statistic before the game that detailed that obviously Spain smashed Italy a few years back 4-0 in a final. But outside of that, the vast majority of their games have been very tight affairs in terms of the scoreline, often with Italy being the more defensive, counter-attacking team, and Spain being more on the front foot. And that's exactly what we got tonight. Two teams playing within reason, within the identity of their nations. The difference being Italy on the counter-attack simply were not good enough. And I did actually think Spain were quite wasteful at times tonight. Pedri should have buried at least two chances. Williams, who I'll get onto in a minute, should have scored with a header. There was the Perez had chances towards the end to really put the final nail in the coffin, and that didn't happen. And when you don't kill a team off, that's always going to leave you susceptible for a last-minute equalizer or a problem along those lines. So I just saw someone in the TV advert, and I'm like, I swear I know that guy. Anyway, another conversation for another day. I think I do know that. It's Vuj, isn't it? It's Vuj. I just realized, just see someone on the TV advert. I swear I know him. It's Vuj. But yeah, like the Spaniards deserved it tonight. I thought it was listen, on the ball, nearly 60% of it, they were the better side. And look, it may, we're going to hear from Guiseppe soon. We're going to have Mo on soon. It may or may not have changed people's minds around how far they think Italy can go. It was the first real meeting of two of the quote unquote bigger, more favored, historically more successful European sides. And I have to say, Spain looked really good. They look really balanced. The only element that I would be concerned about if I was from Spain is the lack of clinical edge, the lack of finishing. They're very wasteful tonight. But some of the attempts are really good. Yamal nearly become the youngest goal scorer ever at the tournament with a wonderful curled shot that just missed. But overall, I think Spain will be very, very, very pleased with their performance tonight. They really, really will. Sorry, I just saw a halftime hook throw in the back in the private chat to Giuseppe. It made me laugh. I want to speak on Nico Williams as well. Nico Williams is a player that I haven't expressed any real opinion on. I see a lot of discourse surrounding him on social media. Some people rate him. Others say he's a hipster's dream. He's overrated. I'm not even going to have that debate because I haven't watched him regularly enough to have a full opinion on him. What I'm going to do is speak about tonight. And Nico Williams was absolutely majestic, magnificent, and dangerous. All from literally the first whistle until he was substituted off. And when did he come off in the game? About 70th minute, maybe later, 78th minute. He was by far and away, in my opinion, the best player on the football pitch. He was electric. And that was both going on the inside and the outside. He was taking his man on. His crossing was excellent. Now, I don't know what his cross percentage stats will come back in like. Some were well defended. You got the likes of Bastoni in there defending them. But in terms of where he was delivering the ball, his approach, everything was amazing. And I've heard a lot of people rave about Rafael Leao. This is what I expect from an inside forward. Someone that can score goals, create chances, and he will score goals. If he keeps playing and performing like that, he'll score goals in this tournament. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And he'll definitely score beyond that. Absolutely brilliant from him tonight. Listen, you can all have your I know he missed a sitter. I've already mentioned that. That is the only element of his game tonight where you would criticize me. He should be scoring that header. But the same people that will say you can't praise him because he missed that header are the same individuals that will say, well, you can't be man of the match just because you scored the winning goal and had a stinky performance. We have to keep the energy the same. I didn't say it was a 10 out of 10 performance. I didn't say it was the greatest display of all time, but he was excellent all night, barring that one miss. And without him tonight, maybe Spain don't win. I mean, it was his cross that led to the own goal. And I did feel for Calafiori at the back, I thought him and Bastoni played quite well together. It was just unfortunate. I mean, I did see a few people online start going in on him, like laughing, going, everyone's been praising him. Look at the mistake. I didn't really think it was a mistake from him. There was 2 deflections on the way. He couldn't stop his momentum. What's he meant to do? Stand still and let the runner behind him get goal side and tap it in. If it imagine he doesn't make that run and it doesn't deflect, and then the man taps it in. He goes, "Yeah, I didn't want to." Imagine this is I didn't want to run in and risk an own goal. So I let the attacker run through. It's stupid. It's the worst football analysis. It really, really is when people do that. But I felt a bit sorry for him. But Nico Williams made that happen tonight. And I thought his performance tonight overall was brilliant. But like with him and the rest of Spain, their wastefulness needs to be looked at. Pedri, especially, Perez towards the end. But outside of that, look, I think Spain will be very happy. They'll top the group now. They are officially through to the next round, as it were. And I was actually looking at, I was going to look at this as well, at the tournament brackets that I put in earlier, just as we're getting to that stage. And interestingly, I was convinced by Giuseppe to put Italy top. So my bracket's already looking a bit messed up with Spain second, Croatia third. The other group's interesting. Germany first, then Switzerland, then Scotland and Hungary. It could still go that way. And England's group's looking pretty similar to what we said. So yeah, it's interesting to know how your brackets are looking right now, people. Let us know in the comment section below. This here from DR says, at the end of the day, Terry, this Spain team rips England 5-0 in the KOs. I mean, look, I'm not even thinking about that right now. I'm not even thinking about it at this stage. Based on the performances, yeah, I mean, that most certainly could happen. They absolutely could if they've got their finishing boots on. Ruiz underrated. Yeah, Fabian Ruiz had a really good tournament. We did a little thing on Straight Facts last night, like who's been the best 11 players at the tournament. And I think Fabian Ruiz's name has to go into the mix. I think he's been phenomenal. Rodri obviously gets a lot of plaudits because of who he is, and sort of especially from sort of EPL fans. But I think Fabian Ruiz has been exemplary, really. Almost scored an absolute perler as well tonight. It's a brilliant save from Donnarumma. So, yeah, very, very good. And I want to shout out another Spanish player as well. I thought he was excellent tonight. I thought he was great in their first game. And he was written off by Gary Neville. He was written off by Gary Neville at the start of the tournament. And listen, I've got no vendetta against Gary Neville. I like him as a pundit. He's a legend of my football club. But I always like it when someone high profile says something and a player proves them wrong. It's fun. And that's Cucurella. I think Gary Neville said words to the effect of Spain can't win the tournament because of players like Cucurella. And so far, I think he's actually put in defensively as well some very, very, very good performances. And if he keeps growing from this point and getting better in this tournament, fair play to him. But look, as I say, just Spain the better team tonight. It's Italy. I mean, it's an interesting one. They're going to get out of the group, in my opinion. They're going to get out their group. They're going to be in the knockout stages. But what is this going to do to their confidence in terms of feeling like they can win the tournament? We're going to obviously speak to Giuseppe in the panel very, very soon. Nico Williams really improved since his Forest days. It's so funny, right? Because when I've seen people in the chat on the terrace say, I want to buy Nico Williams. I want to buy Nico Williams. The first few times that people did it, I was like, why do I want to buy him for? What? He's all right, but he's at Forest. Why? This is why. It's interesting. I say he gets a lot of stick. He gets a lot of stick from a lot of people. People say that he's just overrated. He's not very good. Listen, I haven't watched him enough to have a full and frank opinion. Can I judge him on what I've seen? I was really impressed. If this Spain team had Torres or David Villa, they would be unstoppable. That's their Achilles heel, is converting those chances. Outside of that, they have no weaknesses. Even Perez was cooking at the end. Yeah, look, there's a lot of space at the end because the Italians were going for it. So that has to be said. We have to be very fair, I think, when we're breaking that element of the situation down. We have to be very fair, very open, and very honest in relation to that. But yeah, look, I would agree with you that that Spain look very, very good indeed, and people should be a little bit worried about them. They really, really should. Viewers, make sure you're hitting the like button, please. Make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace if you haven't done that already, and have the bell notifications turned on as well. Bringing the panel out now. Husam is with us. Giuseppe is here. Halftime Hook is in the house as well. I want to go to the loser on the night tonight, who's actually lost the game before England. Not a good day for you though, mate, with England being awful and then Italy really and truly being outclassed tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, listen, let's have it right. Spain were can't even speak right now, mate. Spain were outstanding. I thought Nico Williams was outstanding. They've got Rodri. They've got such a good team. Listen, we all know Italy weren't ever the favourites in this game. Like, I don't know why like Hooks is talking like I said Italy were the favourites. But my point is, with Italy, you can never write Italy off. And at the end of the day, no matter how one-sided the game was, the game did end in Spain getting the win through an own goal from Italy. Through which you got to create, your own team have to create. But that's what I mean with Italy, where you can never write them off of games. Because even a game where we were getting bombarded, and I knew this would happen. I had a bit of confidence because it's my team and that, but like we always are like this against Spain. We never play well against Spain. Spain bopped us in the final 4-0. Even when we won the Euros, we beat them on penalties. They were bopping us most of the game, and then we beat them on penalties. So listen, it is what it is. I'm disappointed. I'm annoyed with the teams. We don't have that X factor up top, and it's the biggest issue we have, man. Skamaka ain't it. We've got Chiesa and that, but we just haven't got that X factor when a game is like this and you're under the cosh. Sometimes you might need that guy. This is what I think will be our Achilles heel in the tournament as well. But you never know. What we'll get through. I generally believe we'll beat Croatia and we'll get through. And then when it comes to the knockouts, you never know like what can happen. So it is what it is. But yeah, I think we can't take nothing away from everyone's laughing at Italy losing and stuff, but they've got to remember how good Spain were. And I'd now say, after watching 2 games, that I'd say they're probably the best looking team in the competition. And I'm not just saying that because Italy lost to them. I'll say that because that they're the only team that have actually had like a test and looked the better team in that test, like by far. So I'd say they're now looking like one of the favorites. I'm still sticking with Germany because I think Germany still will improve in that. But yeah, listen, just a few performances that annoyed me. I think there's a few performances in there that you can say to Italy, well done. I think Donnarumma played excellent. I thought Donnarumma really stepped up for us. I didn't think the centre-backs played too bad. I think when you got an attack like that coming at you constantly, even with Pedri and that behind, it's so hard. So hard, man. The way they're all so quick with their feet. You had to see some last-minute tackles from the team. But yeah, listen, what can I say? It was an annoying game. It was a crap. Like, I've had to watch 2 crap games today for teams that I support, in the sense of like both games. I was like, my teams ain't doing anything. Like, I need more. But listen, you go through and then it ends up being like whatever. Yeah, it's not to say it humbled me in any way, because I was talking with chest for my team, but I always knew Italy aren't the favourites. Italy, to win the competition, Italy will have to get that rub of the green a bit and that, like we do sometimes, but we're always there and thereabouts. Even in this game, that last corner of the game, another night, that goes in, you snatch and grab a draw. Like, we're always in the game. We never get battered. And this is why Hooks is a fraud, because Hooks was saying about Italy getting run through, and Hooks was saying about Italy losing like 4 or 5 nils and that. And I told him, Italy don't lose 4 or 5 nils. That ain't the Italy way. Even though they missed chances, and on another day, woulda, shoulda, coulda. On another day, we scored chances, you know. So it is what it is. But yeah, disappointing. And
you're so shameless, Giuseppe. You're actually shameless.
Bro, listen, yeah. No, I'm just saying, we didn't deserve to win in any or draw in any way, shape, or form.
Let me tell you what you're shameless about. You're talking about, you know, we could have won the game. Bro, we could have won the game 4-0, bro. I don't know what game you were watching. I mean,
hang on.
Yes.
Yes.
What part of
Spain is oh yeah, look at this guy, man.
Everyone knows I'm supporting Spain. Everyone knows.
What part of Spain is Jordan in, my friend?
Listen, yo habla español. You get me? I speak Spanish. Everyone knows this. I'm Spanish for the Euros. We could have won this game like 4-0. You get me? And this is the reality of the situation. Now, I cannot believe Giuseppe's shamelessness for him to come here and say we were in the game till the end when Spain had about 16 attempts to 2. This was like watching Arsenal play Burnley.
Let me ask you this.
And you have the audacity to come here and say Burnley were in the game at the end.
I'm not saying we should have got anything from the game. But what? How can you tell me at 1-0 when you got corners in the last minute, you're not still in with a chance of getting something from that?
Yeah, but
game?
you're
Still
basically
1-0.
your scenario is everything half like glass half full. You're not looking at the reality of the game. The reality of the game is Spain dominated Italy from start.
Yeah, 100%. I've said that.
Yeah,
bro.
and if Spain took their chances, your what if is we were in the game till the end. My what if is if we took our chances, we would have won the game 4-0. So where do we go from here?
Who are we?
Yeah, but we discussed this.
Mr. Mo from Egypt pretending to be Italian. I
I'm
can
not,
pretend
I
to be
never,
Spanish
the
if I
difference
want.
is I never pretended to be Italian,
There
but
you
I
are.
never.
I never
you
pretended
sat
to be
on the
Spanish
show.
either. I'm
You
saying
sat
we.
on the show. You sat on the show and you said
Look how
I'm
pissed off
neutral
she
here.
is.
I never claimed to be neutral. I never claimed. You claimed to be neutral.
That's a lie.
You're
Everyone
not
knows I
supporting
supported Spain.
another
Everyone knows I
another
supported
glory
Spain.
hunter here. Another
Yeah.
glory hunter supporting
Why?
Spain.
If I'm glory hunting, I
Another
support
glory
Germany.
hunter on the
If I'm
shoes.
glory hunting, I support Germany.
Nah,
You
because
know,
you know, listen,
You're
you're following
just a glory
you know
Rodri.
hunter.
exactly why I'm supporting Spain.
You're literally
wanna make it
I've
you
watched
supported
Rodri
Spain in
dunk on your club.
2008. You supported Spain in 2008 when they were winning
I
because they had
support the Jordanian national
You
team,
are
but some things are bigger than football, which is why I support Spain in this Euros. Full stop.
Anyway, to be honest with you, Giuseppe, you're shameless. I said on my watch along, this is one of the worst performances. By the way, just have
Thank
to be
you.
honest at
Thank
some
you.
point. You have to be honest. This is one of the worst performances in the tournament by any team, by the way. This is worse than England. It's worse
Grazie.
than Albania played better. Slovenia played better. Slovakia played better than this Italian team. Some of the players do not deserve to play for a nation like Italy. Listen, I'm not Italian. Scamacca's, the Frateses, the Di Lorenzos, these guys do not deserve to play for Italy. From Del Piero, Totti, Inzaghi, Luca Toni, Vialli, Zola to Gianluca Scamacca, where everybody thought that is a good player. The guy's an absolute fraud. The guy is lazy. His body language says it all. He thinks he's a superstar, right? He thinks he's a superstar. He's absolutely a fraud. That's why he
I
didn't
thought
work.
you told me Fratesi won't play. He played again today.
He played. That's why Spalletti doesn't have the Cristantis, the Pellegrinis. These guys. Did you see the touches of these guys? This is why I'm gonna say something. You can never rule out the Italians, which is why they won the Euros last time. But if you're gonna tell me this Italian team is gonna win the Euros, shame on the Englands and the Germanys and Spain. This is one of the worst performances I've seen. Nobody can sit here. If you, Giuseppe, you're an Italian, I'm not. But this Italian team is one of the worst I have seen in my life.
We're winning the Euros, Mo. You know this. We're winning the
look,
Euros.
Mo, 100%, by the way. But
Yes,
It's a horrific performance.
No.
Yeah,
We're not doing this. We're not doing it, Giuseppe. We're not doing
Get him halftime. Get him.
We're not doing this because when I came on the Albania and Italy reaction, and I said it's poor that Italy can only beat Albania 2-1 because it's Albania, and then they're gonna come up against Spain and they're gonna get beat. Everybody looked at me like I was mad, but now you're saying that Spain, they're a good team.
Look, you're using two arguments that are different. You were trying to say we played bad. Hold on. You were trying to say we played bad against Albania. We didn't play bad against Albania.
No, but I told you that the fact that you can't score against Albania shows that Italy's attack is whack. And you're going to come up against better teams and it's going to be harder. But no. Nobody believed. But look, we're sitting here. Spain just cooked you. Don't let the scoreline fool you.
It's 5-0, bro. Should be 5-0. Should be 5-0.
I just want to ask a question, yeah? Do you think that you're just going to roll over Croatia?
No.
No, but I think
we could be looking at a scenario where Italy come third. We have to speak about this because I don't think Italy are just going to roll over Croatia.
I think we beat Croatia, bro.
Oh, you do?
I'll sit it with my chest now, bro.
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. And once again, it is what it is. Today wasn't a great game. I've said that already. Yeah, Spain. We're underestimating how good Spain were, though. Yeah, Spain run through a lot of teams that they play now. After seeing that tonight, they do. We don't have the X factor up top. I said that Scamacca should not be Italian. I don't even know if this guy is Italian, bro. This guy could maybe not be Italian, bro. Yeah, how bad he is. Yeah. There is a few players in this team, like Mo said, that shouldn't be playing for Italy, and it's just right now we have a down period. The team ain't great, but once again, my whole point to you, Hooks, was you can't rule out the Italians, bro. You can't, because whenever you do that, they end up getting, bro. I've seen Italy put in performances that were disgusting, and then they go through, and then they end up going through and doing well in the tournament. That's my point. That's my whole point. I'm not saying that we were good today at all, but I'm saying Italy can turn it round like that as well. That's all I say in it. But
And
I'll hold
that's
the call.
that's the point that I wanted to jump in on, because you saying that you were in the match until the very end and everybody's laughing, you got cooked, you got cooked. I'll tell you what, I was at the bar right now. I was with my wife, who is from Spain, and I'm sitting there with a German guy, a good buddy of mine as well. And him and I talking, two best teams of the tournament, Germany, Spain, two best teams. And we're in the 93rd minute or so. And he goes, all right, y'all, I'll see you later. And my wife goes, sit your ass down. The game is not over. We're only up 1, and Italy has the ball. So as bad as Italy might have been, and as good as Spain might have been, it was still a 1-0. And it was still, that's that stuff that Italy has in them that other teams maybe don't have, where as bad as it was, y'all keep saying how bad Italy was. I look at it as Spain had 7, 8 shots on target and only 1 goal that was an own goal. So that means y'all were doing something right. As bad as it was, you were keeping Spain out of the goal. Yet you have that potential when it's only 1-0. And that's why when England scores 1 goal and then they sit back the rest of the match, I'm sitting there screaming, not even as an England fan, going, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with one thing. I think there's two things. Yeah, go on. No, go on.
There's something missing from your argument, Nick, and Hooks mentioned it. The problem with Italy is the other side. They cannot score to save their life. This is the problem.
Yes.
So even if England do it, at least there's Kane, Saka, and Foden. You want to know if the combined front three of Italy and England? Kane, Saka, Foden. That's the combined three. Because that's how bad the Italian front three is. Scamacca, yes, we know he scored against Liverpool, blah, blah, we get it. Frattesi's
but a
crap.
Corner kick, a free kick, there's always a chance of something.
No, I understand
happening.
that, but you cannot go into a tournament relying on set pieces to win the whole thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're Greece in 04, but that's a different story.
I hear you. I'm just saying, as bad as they were, they were in it until the 95th minute.
They were, but I think that's more to do with Spain than it is Italy. I mean, the Williams header, the Pedri header, the Pedri miss, the Perez misses at the end.
The Williams curler.
Yeah, I mean, the Williams curler was unlucky because it was a good shot, but the others were bona fideable misses that the goalie wouldn't have got near, and that would have changed the outlook of this game. And I think that's also a good thing for everybody else in the tournament, though, because as good as Spain have looked, they are not the Spain of old that has got the quality in the team to also kill everybody off. So I also like that about this, that Spain are winning and they are one of the best teams in the tournament, but good, bad, or indifferent, it doesn't matter. The bar currently isn't as high as we've seen in previous Euros gone by. However, I actually think that's making the tournament more entertaining because there isn't 1 or 2 teams that are exponentially better than everybody else. There's teams that are better. The one team so far that has looked better has been Germany. So far, but even again in the game against Hungary, it was only when the second goal went in that Hungary essentially switched off. Up until that point, it was end to end and could have gone either way. So look, the Italians have definitely got a problem up front. I agree with what the boys are saying, that none of these players would get anywhere near a provisional squad 10 plus years ago. There's no doubt about it. But that's a conversation as to why suddenly Italy, which was famed for its attackers, suddenly doesn't have any good strikers. Is a debate for another day. In terms of improvements, is it just because it wasn't just the finishing though, Giuseppe, from Italy? It was the approach play, very sloppy on the ball. Chiesa very much invisible. Do you think that was more about Spain just sort of nullifying you, or do you think there might be some issues with the system at Italy at large?
I think there's a bit of both to that. I think that obviously. I think Spain have to take massive credit for it. The way that, like as you said, I think Cucurella had Chiesa all game. I think they've got a really good team. They've got Rodri in there. their team's really good, definitely defensively as well. They're great. So I think they kind of nullified us, and the things that we can maybe get away with other teams, we couldn't really get away with against Spain. I don't know if it's really a system thing rather than the quality of players not being quite there. And you kind of need them to all be firing for Italy to do anything, to win the competition or anything like that. I don't think Italy will win a competition. I said that from the start anyway. But yeah, listen, what can I say, man? I'm right now, I'm a bit rattled, innit? Because today's just been a long day of football for me. I've watched 2 games.
Bro, I had a day like that not that long ago. I had a day like that not long ago, where Man United got beat up by a rival on like the Saturday 12:30 kickoff. Then in the evening, boxing was on, and my guy got knocked out. And then I stayed up and watched the UFC, and my guy got knocked out. I remember going to bed at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'm so angry. I was sitting there it's all not gone my way. I call it sporting depression is what I have for it, where you're not really sad in real life, but you have these little moments where you're like, I feel really bad. It's not you that's even lost, but yeah, I get how you're feeling after those 2 games back to back as well. On Spain, gentlemen, look, it is 2 wins for them. Yes, they were wasteful, but this does look to me a better team than we saw at the World Cup. Yes, they smashed Costa Rica 7-0 to begin with and fizzled out, but they just look a little bit more balanced, a little bit more together, and far more dangerous consistently. I don't know. I'll go to Nikki first on this.
Yeah, well, the past few international tournaments, the big question around Spain has been striker up front. You've got all these playmakers, you've got all these little crafty little magicians, and you've got Rodri in the middle, you've got some bigger guys in the back, but who's going to score those goals? And we've been stuck with La Patata, as I call him, Alvaro Morata, La Patata, who has actually, he had a really good World Cup.
I know what it means, bro. It's the same in Italian, bro. Spanish and Italian are similar.
Very similar. Very similar.
Wait, you know what? You're shameless, Sam. You're shameless, bro.
How do you say potato?
Viva España.
How do you say potato?
Viva la Roja. Let's go.
La Roja.
Do you know what meme's going through my head right now every time Sam says we? You remember Uncle Phil in The Fresh Prince where he says we? Yeah. And laughs. That's what I'm thinking. Sorry, back to you, Nikki.
So I think this year the thing that is different is they're being allowed to play their game without a concern of just get it to somebody, just get it into Morata for him to do something. What has happened is the manager De La Fuente has given Pedri, Lamine Yamal, and Nico Williams the freedom just to play your game. Just play your game, do your thing, and Morata is going to use his experience to float around and not necessarily be straight up front as a number 9. And as you saw, he was way out left at times. He moved over at times. He still wasn't fantastic. But what it's allowing it to do is not have this 16-year-old concerned with doing the wrong thing. And then you have a 16-year-old sort of, I don't know if I should go. I don't know if I should stay. What should I do? And no, it's just, you play your game. We're there with you, and you have backup. And every second ball they were winning, so they weren't afraid to make a mistake, try a through ball. It's what we're complaining about these other teams who have incredible passers like Belgium and England. Why aren't you trying those incisive passes through the middle? Well, because you're afraid, because you don't own the midfield. And right now, the midfield is kind of owned right now by Spain, where they can make those incisive passes. And if there's a bad touch, who cares? We're going to get it back. So I feel that there's a lot more freedom in this Spanish team. A bit too much tiki-taka is still there. That was my biggest concern today, is stop looking for the tap in and somebody strike the ball. But I feel there's a lot more freedom and less concentration on we need a number 9 who will score all of our goals.
Spain midfield look really good, man. The Ruiz, Rodri, and Pedri, that's looking like a really good midfield, man. Ruiz, another great game as well. And
that lunatic Cucurella.
Finally, let's go.
I know ball now in it because we agree.
Yes, because you agree with ball.
Yeah,
100%.
we agree, I know.
Rodri's too good as well, and obviously Husam knows a lot about Rodri, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you
He
guys,
plays
Rodri.
in the same league that you support as well, so you know about Rodri. What kind of like?
Yeah, I know, bro.
You know what I know about Rodri? The 19-year-old on Man United's bench, Mainu, that isn't getting played by Southgate, pocketed him and scored the winning goal against him in the FA Cup
here we
final. That's
go.
what I know about Rodri.
Here we go.
Putting it out
Here
there.
we go.
I was cussing that game. I was in my watch. I was doing a watch along with side, and I was just like, I can't get away from this Rodri guy, man. I just can't get away from him.
It's so hard being an Arsenal fan and supporting Spain. I tell you what, because I'm sitting there going, look at this stupid Rodri with his shirt tucked into his shorts. He looks so dumb. Great pass, incredible pass. I hate him so much. Great pass. I hate him so much. And then he got the yellow card, and I was like, what a smart play. He knows they're going to advance. We don't need him in the third game. He's now out for the third game. What a smart move. He's not going into the round of 16 with the yellow card. Not that he did it on purpose. I'm just saying. We can say,
Nah, man, you know, my opinion, just like as soon as international football comes on, all that club rivalry stuff, it just gets parked at the door. Go on, Rodri, play good. But if you are gonna, you know, something gonna happen to you, make it be closer towards the Premier League season. But other than that, you know, everybody play well. I don't look at even in the England team like Harry Kane, Tottenham legend, but when he puts on that England shirt,
yeah,
I mean England player.
Yeah,
He was shocking today. There are bigger things than football.
No,
I mean,
Yeah.
nope.
Yes and no. Yeah, of course, in reality, yes. But the thing is, we care. It's
That's why I'm supporting Spain, literally.
yeah.
But that's what they say. Football is the biggest thing that means the least. It's the biggest thing in the world that means the least.
Yeah, it is. It's a hard one to describe. I always feel when it comes to your team, whether it's your club team or your nation, you almost want it to be. It depends on you as a person, but some people use it as pure escapism, as an example. But for me, I've always looked at sport. Sports always taught me more than anything else. And I look at whether it's an individual that I support or a nation or a club or a team. It's I almost want them to embody ethics that I hold dear, that I try to live by. And I think that's why it's so important. It's not so much the sport, it's what it kind of represents as an example. And what I will say about football, you say it isn't important. I have nothing, in my opinion, brings people together like sport, and football is one of the best in the world at doing that. So, you know, you could get all the greatest politicians of all time together, and I still don't think they could bring a group of people together in the same way that football or sports in that way can. So I do think sport's massively important. Of course, you know, there are things that outweigh the pain of losing a football match. That's most certain. But it's an important element of life, and depends on what part of the world you're from as well. In the UK, Italy, Spain, it's culture as well. Like certain towns and cities are built around their football club and have been for 150 plus years. The entire ecosystem of a town centers around the club. So I actually get if you don't support a team from your local town, or you support a team in a different nation, it will feel different in that way to people. Like I grew up near a much smaller club called Leyton Orient, who my brothers support, and that club was the central hub of everything that went on around that area, that little part of East London. So yeah, it is an important part of life and society, I suppose. Are there any good under 21 strikers coming through?
Yes,
No.
a very good boy coming through at AC Milan. He's very young though. He's very young. Let me just get his name properly so I don't mess it up.
Wow. Let me just get
I don't want to mess it up, man.
He mocked me. He mocked
Italian-
me
must be
for
very
this kind of
good.
thing. Now what?
Italian
Now
messing
what?
up the Italian names.
Yeah, the
okay.
Italian messed up the Italian thing. You know all the under 21
he's really
strikers
good.
at Arsenal? What happened? Why didn't you know the ones that for Italy?
Camarada.
Oh, okay.
He come on for AC Milan this season, and he won. He was a big factor in Italy winning the under 17s, under 18s, Euros this season. But yeah, like he looks good, but he's still very young. Under 21 wise, like right on the cusp, there ain't really anyone.
Italy
yeah.
don't care about the youth.
Where's
The
Willy
actual-
Nanto?
actually,
Where's
the
Willy
whole-
Nanto?
The whole thing in the clubs, they just don't
Leeds.
care about the youth. They just don't. They never develop the youth. They sell them. They don't care about them. They trade them for other players in the clubs. No one cares. Like you're asked in Inter, for example, we have not even one youngster coming through. Not one youngster coming through. And the only one that came through, we sold him to Chelsea. Once we had the chance, we just sold the guy. When Zaniolo was at Inter, we traded him for Nainggolan. No one in Italy care about the youth teams. No one cares. No club. You never see us like Terry sits on the streams and talk about the Man United Academy and this and that. You'll never see someone talking about, like, some people talk about the academy, but at the end, no one makes it. No one makes it. The last one I remember making it at Inter was Balotelli. The last one. That is 14 years ago.
Wow.
This is the last youngster that made it. So nobody cares. That's why it's just there's no money. They don't develop the thing, and it doesn't matter for them. It's not like Liverpool or Man United or Chelsea. Nobody cares.
Barella didn't come through the academy.
Who?
Barella?
So DiMarco was an academy player, and Inter. What did Inter do? Loan him out for seasons and seasons until he became good, and then they brought him back.
Barella.
That's how it worked. He's never Inter. He was a different. We bought him from Cagliari.
Cagliari. Okay, fair enough.
Like we do Bastoni, bought from Atalanta.
The Italian team looks so discombobulated today, though. Like the way that they played is just so like. I felt like it came a point in time where I felt like I was watching a City game, City taking on like just a lower league club. Like it just felt like,
Stoke.
it just felt.
I'm
like
gonna
the
tell you
Italian-
something, Husam.
Tell me.
The problem is Italy couldn't get out of the back. Do you know whose fault is that? Can anyone say whose fault is it?
Jorginho.
Whose fault is it?
Jorginho.
Jorginho.
That's it. This is the guy that
It was
everybody
the
thinks,
Arsenal fans
oh,
who
he's a
said it.
fantastic
Halftime?
footballer. He
Don't
is
have it
great.
halftime.
He's an
Don't have it
absolutely
halftime.
fantastic footballer. Crumbles under the press. Crumbled in the Premier League under the press when Madison.
But we
pressed
know
him.
Don't
this
have it
about
halftime.
him. But we know
Arsenal could have been sitting here league
we know this
champions if
about him.
Jorginho didn't give the ball to Madison.
But we know this about him.
Jorginho is one of the worst. I'm just gonna tell you, he's not press resistance as people think. He's too slow. He isn't Rodri's left toe, small toe. He isn't Rodri's small left toe. The guy is not great. He couldn't get Italy out of the press. They would pass the ball, and he couldn't create angles for himself to get the ball and turn and pass the ball around. He's not that good. This is it. This is what he's not that great. He's not. And it's not an agenda, by the way. I said that the first game, and I said that, by the way, I said that all season. I never liked the guy.
Maybe it's I mean, age now, isn't it? He's 32 years of age. 3 years ago, he was killing it. Like when he was 29, I think he was better in his younger days. He's just 32 years of age. Yeah. And I almost feel similarly. None of us have really watched Harry Kane that much in the last year. We've all watched a few Bundesliga games. We've seen the Champions League. Watching Harry Kane in the last couple of games, he looked like he got old quick. His body ain't moving the same. And I felt the same about Jorginho. Funnily enough, when Jorginho has been playing in that Arsenal team, though, this season and looking good, more legs and more energy around him. I do. The problem that, and I know we didn't mean to, but we triggered the other night, Portugal, Ronaldo fanboys, just by stating, Ronaldo can't move like he used to. Therefore, you need more legs around them. And if too many people want the ball to feet, if too many people are slow or static, the naturally slower players and older players are going to be exposed. You need to have that around them. So I think that maybe that's what they've got to look at. Yeah, but it's 2 games running. He's been dragged off pretty early as well, right?
I think, do you know what another thing is? There's like, I don't know about you, Mo, you've watched a lot of Italy. I don't think Jorginho has ever been good for Italy.
So in the last Euros,
he was good in the last Euros.
Okay, so the last Euros, this is what happened. The last Euros, the players around them were exactly what Terry said. They were so dynamic around the guy that it looked fluid. And also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he had Verratti, is superior on the ball than Jorginho. Yeah. Verratti is superior on the ball than Jorginho, and it helped him massively. Jorginho is that kind of player when you have position, which is what he was at Napoli under Sarri. When he plays for Arsenal, a position-based team, and he has spaces around him, he look all right. He look like someone who just passes the ball around. That's why in Albania, sometimes he would pass around. Under pressure, Jorginho is not great. He's not the guy that will put his body. He will buy you a couple of free kicks, but he isn't the guy that will put his body like Rodri today. Even when Italy tried just to come close to Rodri, he'll just put his body, win the free kick. He'll put his body and turn and pass the ball and start over again. He's not that guy, Jorginho. He
wins
isn't
the
the
ball
guy.
back a bit, though.
Say
He
that
does
again?
break up play. He breaks up play a bit, though. It's
Actually,
something
he's
that
one of the worst guys in terms of defensive attributes.
It's what he's
You
known
know
for. Man.
He's known for not being defensively good in the
I
transition because
I
he's
see
so
him win the
slow.
ball back today, you know, in the
He
box.
did one interception today. Jorginho
man.
winning the ball back.
Yeah, I see it today, you know, in the box. In the box, I see it today.
He
man.
did one interception. Are you telling me that Jorginho is good defensively? One of the main flaws in his game is that he's too slow.
He's very good
and
at reading the game.
Yeah, maybe.
He's very good at
Listen,
reading the game.
Jorginho is perfect for what Arsenal have him for. He should not be playing every game. He should rarely start, but there are times when we need his mind more than his passing and everything else.
Yes,
So
thank you, Nick.
his mind is the most
man.
important thing.
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, but
leadership and all
sometimes
that.
sometimes people just. I'm gonna just let you know. Maybe I'm older here, right? Sometimes your body cannot do what your brain tells you, and I'm being serious.
Oh yeah,
I feel it with Jorginho. Jorginho wants to do things that his body is not equipped to do them. He's too slow. He's physically weaker now. So someone like Pedri, he's younger. He has legs. Like Fabian Ruiz, technical. Rodri is bigger physically. Sometimes Jorginho is trying to do this, but he's just too slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's physically not equipped to do this tackle or get around in the pitch to actually intercept here and there. He couldn't support both fullbacks today. You guys noticed that?
Yeah.
It required the wingers to come and double on Nico Williams, and he couldn't support them. And this is one of the reasons why. By the way, this is why Spalletti took him off. You wanted Barella, more dynamic, someone just run around in that position, which helped a little bit. Jorginho isn't that.
The dynamism is that people just don't appreciate athleticism for some reason, and you can get away with a couple of players like Jorginho, but everybody else has got to have legs. It's as simple as that. As a Gunnar, Williams and Yamal over Saka and Martinelli.
I saw Nico Williams convinced us all today, right? Like trickery, very dynamic and also direct. In the first game, me and Husam were talking about this. He was just only using speed. Today, he showed us the technical ability he has and the directness he has, to be honest. Today, he convinced me. 21 years old. He looked better than Lamine Yamal. He looked better than Lamine Yamal today.
Well, because Spain is not going to allow you to say, okay, we'll take care of Yamal and we'll be fine. Spain is going to go, okay, last game, we were all right-sided. Lamine Yamal was doing most of the work. Well, they went after him and they doubled him up. So you know what? We're going left side. We're going Nico Williams. And teams haven't realized that they're both equally as good as each other. They both offer incredible width and incredible dynamism.
Also Cucurella today looked levels. To be honest,
he was my man of the match.
This is the Cucurella that I saw at Brighton 2 years ago.
Yep.
Because going forward, he had good moments passing, he had good crosses, and he actually supported Nico Williams. That Cucurella I haven't seen in 2 years. That is solid defensively, but also going forward, overlaps, passing the ball. I have to be honest here with the assessment of the player. He looked good today. He
made
very good in both
recovery.
Again. Yes.
Recovery runs. He caught up to people when he was out of position. He was all over the place. And then I wasn't going to give him man of the match, but then I think it was Fabian Ruiz fell on the floor. He went and gave him a massage. I'm like, yo, man of the match. What else do you have to do? He's done literally everything on the pitch except score. So
also, can we be serious? Yamal, he's not handling the Prem at the age that he is now. Like, can we stop drawing these stupid comparisons? Like, people see him do 1-2 trickery in the Liga where he gets bare time on the ball and like, oh yeah, he's better than Saka. But if he was playing Saka's position, he's having 2-3 man on him near enough every single game. He's not doing anything but pass that ball backwards.
Why are you bringing it to Saka? I don't get it.
The
super chatter mentioned Saka.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Maybe I forgot.
You man like to
like I didn't understand why is Saka now.
Yeah, look, I almost feel like
I think Yamal is better than Saka, but I don't think Nico Williams is. I think Nico Williams is a level below Saka, even with today's performance. That doesn't change my mind. Yamal is. I think Yamal is like in the Musiala, Pedri category.
Well, look, I want to press you on what you just said. Is he actually better than Saka right now, or got more ability?
I'd say both, to be honest with you.
So you think you think he's at a higher level of football now at 16 than Saka is?
Yes, based on what I've seen this season for Barcelona, he carries Barcelona week in, week out. Like he's literally their best player. I rate Bukayo Saka. I think Saka's better than Foden. Like, I'm one of the guys who is most pro Saka on this whole platform, but I don't know, Yamal, or maybe I could switch it up and say, like, maybe Yamal has a much higher ceiling. Like, I could see Yamal developing into being, like having the best.
You have gone too far, but fine.
But will he have? Is he consistent? Does he have that?
No, but I don't say the same thing about Nico Williams. That's why I don't say the same thing about Nico Williams, because Nico Williams is more like trickery, ruining the right back's life type shit. Like, I'll be honest with you, watching Nico Williams today, it gave me all bad PTSD of Luis Diaz that I've ever seen my whole life. Like, literally dribble, ruin the right back's life, and then don't do the right thing, basically 90% of the time. The one time he did do the right thing, it hit the post, to be fair. So there could be something there.
Nico Williams did the right thing a lot. He put in a number of dangerous crosses. He again, a good cross doesn't necessarily always find your teammate, because if your centre backs are well positioned and read it, they'll get there first. But I thought Nico Williams made a lot of the right decisions.
I thought he was man of the match today, Terry, but that does not mean overall that I think he's Saka level. He isn't.
No, I'm not. I'm just talking about today's performance. I mean, I haven't watched him enough to talk about someone like Saka. Same as Yamal. I haven't watched him enough. So when you were saying he's better, I just wanted to ascertain exactly what you meant, because you know what people are like on social. Some say better and they're purely talking on ability, but normally it's very rare for a 16-year. We're talking about the elite end of the spectrum. It's very rare for a 16-year-old to be better than a 22, 23-year-old purely on experience. But he does look special. He's got really good speed, and he's still got to fill out. I just hope Barcelona don't play him too much, which it sounds like they are, because he isn't built like a man yet. He's very thin for an athlete. I'm talking, and I worry about.
They did that to Pedri 4 years ago, literally.
Yeah, and that's what I do worry about. That's the only element that I worry about, is that they kind of overplay him, if that means it, because not that he's going to play for my club, he definitely isn't going to play for my nation, but it's beautiful to see young, extremely talented players come through. I worry he's going to have like a Michael Owen career where the body starts breaking down when he's 22, 23, if he's playing this much. But he certainly looks special when he almost scored a good goal as well tonight. I really wanted him to break the record and score it being 16 years. I really wanted him to get that goal at 16 years of age in a tournament, because I just don't ever see that being beat. I don't see that being beat, to be honest with you. I really, really don't. This year says, don't be fooled by this Nico Williams performance. The guy is pretty average most games for Bilbao, then has a game like this, and all of a sudden tacticos gas him up.
I agree with you.
That's harsh. I think once again, I think that's harsh though, because we're talking like this kid ain't 20 years old, bro. Like, this guy's young, like,
and that's Bilbao.
It's like talking about a 25-year-old that does this and saying he ain't all that. Like, these guys are young, so maybe he's just finding more form and finding better. We'll see in it. There's still the rest of the competition to see, but I think people like to judge these players.
He's got 5 La Liga goals, my brother. 5.
But he's 20. This is what I'm saying. Like, should he
plays for Bilbao?
I get that, but there's a reason why I understand what Machiavelli's saying. Today, I admit he was man of the match. I don't have an agenda against the kid. I think he could become one of the best, or whatever it is people like to say. But at the end of the day, 5 goals in 31 games as a winger, as a forward, like, I don't know if it's
in La Liga.
In La Liga as well. So that should suit him.
It's really interesting, right? I don't know who tweeted something the other day. It was, I think, when what's the young Turkish player that scored the screamer? His name eludes me.
Arda Güler,
yeah. When he scored, I don't know who tweeted it. A number of people tweeted. I saw lots of people say, well, I thought young players couldn't score goals. You have to wait for them to get older. And I think that's a dig at people online that say what Giuseppe has just said there. Well, he's only 20 years of age. And I think these arguments become, I don't know what the right word for it is, but I think you're right. If at 20 years of age, you're not already looking like one of the best in the world, then it's fair to say you're probably not a generational talent. But it doesn't mean that you won't go on to be a really good football player, because it's only a handful of young players between the age of, we've probably got to move the bracket down to 16 now because of Yamal, but it's only a handful of players in that sort of 16 to 20 years of age bracket start to deliver and start to perform consistently at major clubs in the best leagues and internationally. And that, if you actually go through the history of football, and if you try and just name the players that have done that in the last 30 years, fair enough, Nico Williams may not be in that category, but that doesn't mean he can't be rated as a player with good potential. I feel like these conversations, it's all sort of, I did a video about 7 years ago and I titled it, maybe a bit less than that. It was I titled it, "You're either Mbappe or shit." And that's how I feel people judge young players. You're either doing what Mbappe was doing or you're shit. And it's weird. It's a weird approach to me, because I think some players, it just takes, we all know how good David Beckham was as a footballer. He didn't break through and start playing regularly at Man United till he was like 22 years old. But I just don't buy into this notion. I don't think, I'm not looking at Nico Williams going, yeah, world-class generational talent could be the next best thing. But when I see people writing him off because at 20 he's not doing what some of the greatest 20-year-olds in the world ever have done, it's kind of weird to me, because based on that logic, you can't like anything. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go to that restaurant.
I'm only responding to the super chat.
Hang on a minute. They don't have as many Michelin stars as Gordon Ramsay, therefore, fuck it, I'm not going there. That's weird. It's probably still good food, you know?
Terry, I only said that because the super chatter said better
I'm not
than Saka and Martinelli.
Bro, I'm not talking about what you've said. I'm talking about the general conversation online when it comes to young players, that you can't rate them if they're not of generational level. I don't quite understand it, if that makes sense. It's a bit weird to me. But maybe somebody else.
I know what you're referring to. You're referring to the Man United fans talking about the likes of Garnacho, basically.
No, it's not Man United fans, but it's just general in football. You'll hear people say, well, age is no excuse. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And then you look at the examples they give of players that have delivered at 18 and 19 at a high level, and you're talking like less than 1% of all football players. Most take time to develop, but yet you're not allowed to like someone who hasn't developed yet. I find it very strange. I find it very, very strange.
Well, Terry, just yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever, last time Spain played, half of this show that we did was comparing Lamine Yamal to Messi. That's half the problem, is that we're going, oh, this 16-year-old had a good game. Is he the greatest of? Is he comparable? Like, guys, chill out
it's
and
not
go.
Normal to have a 16 years old play for the first team in Barcelona and start with Spain. That's not.
Yeah, but I mean, can we just go?
Seen.
Can we just look at his trajectory instead of saying, is he going to be the best player the world has ever seen of our generation, and just go, wow, this kid is incredible. Let's see what he keeps doing. Let's see if he can do it a second year. You know?
No,
yeah.
No, I totally get where you're coming from. I'm just talking in general. I just find weird. It's very, very weird. Not you guys, just in general. He has 14 assists. Everybody. What, this season?
Nico 11 assists in La Liga. 11 assists.
Good.
In La Liga.
Yeah. So 11. So 16 goal contributions in 31 games. It's not bad. Like, it's not bad. I mean, I haven't seen the assists, but his bro was also overhyped, and look at him now.
Iñaki.
Yeah, Iñaki Williams was a shit like 5 years ago.
There we go. Would Tonali have started or made a difference today?
Oh, 100% he would have started.
Yeah, 100.
He would have been probably one of our better players, but what happened with him, and it's
depends on what he was betting on, mate. To be honest,
yeah, definitely yellow cards.
You know what he should be doing?
Yellow cards.
He should be buying stocks instead. He's buying stocks.
There we go. Look, I know we're going to chat about the referee, and we haven't actually got the time tonight. We've come to the end, and I need to get myself to bed because I'm exhausted. Another long day tomorrow. Look, viewers, please hit the like button before you leave. Please make sure you're subscribing to the Terrace as well. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and I'll see you all again soon.